Welcome to Chatbot Development Course, your complete guide to building powerful, intelligent chatbots with modern tools and multi-LLM integration. In this hands-on course, you will learn how to develop responsive AI-powered chat interfaces using React.js and integrate them with cutting-edge language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek. We'll begin with the foundations, understanding what AI chatbots are, how language models work, and the architecture behind a multi-model chatbot. Then we will dive into project setup, React Essential, UI UX design principle, and API integration strategies. You will build a fully functional, production ready chatbot with support for streaming responses, model switching, dark mode, markdown rendering, conversational history, and more. Whether you're a developer looking to upskill or entrepreneur aiming to build intelligent interfaces, this course equips you with the tools and techniques to create scalable, secure, and future-ready chatbot solutions. So guys, if you want to see more content like this, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Without any delay, let's build your AI assistant. Here's a quick look at what we'll be covering today. This agenda is structured to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of building modern chatbots. First up, we'll begin with an introduction to AI chatbots. This is a foundational module which will cover what chatbots are, their evolution, and the various types we encounter, laying the groundwork for everything that follows. Next, we will dive into understanding large language models, which is LLMs. Given their central role in advanced AI, we'll explore the core concept behind LLMs and how they function and their immense capabilities in generating human-like text and understanding context. Following that, we'll examine use cases for multi-LLM chatbots. We'll look at a practical application and real-world example where combining the strength of different LLMs can lead to more sophisticated and specialized chatbot solution tackling complex problems efficiently. Then we'll have a React.js essential refresher. This section is crucial for a practical development aspect. We will quickly revisit or introduce the fundamental concepts of React.js, which is widely used technology for building the user interface components of many chatbots. Finally, we'll conclude with planning the chatbot architecture. This module will bring everything together, focusing on how to design and structure your chatbot system from a high-level perspective. We will discuss integrating various components, managing data flow, and considering scalability for robust chatbot development. By the end of this course, our goal is for you to have a strong grasp of both the theoretical principle and the practical consideration for developing intelligent and effective chatbots. Now that we have seen our roadmap, let's dive into our first module, Introduction to AI-powered chatbots. In this section, we'll establish a fundamental understanding of what chatbots are, how they evolved, and especially what AI-powered truly means in the context. We'll explore the distinction between rule-based and AI-driven chatbots, highlighting the significant advancement that artificial intelligence has brought to conversational agents. We'll also touch upon why chatbots have become such an indispensable tool across various industries, from customer service and sales to education and personal assistance. Our goal here is to ensure everyone has a clear and common understanding of this intelligent conversational system before we delve deeper into their underlying technologies. Let's break down what AI powered chatbot truly is and why they are so transformative. At its core, a chatbot is software designed to simulate human conversation through text or voice, leveraging artificial intelligence. This means it's built to interact with user in a natural conversational manner as if you're talking to a person. Historically, many chatbots were rule-based. These operate on predefined scripts and have limited understanding. Think of them as an elaborate, choose your own adventure book. They can only respond to what they have been explicitly programmed for, following a strict if-then rules. If you ask something outside their script, they often get stuck or say, I don't understand.
However, the real power comes with AI-powered chatbots. These are vastly more sophisticated. They leverage advanced technologies like natural language processing to understand the human language, machine learning to learn from interaction and improve over time, and crucially, large language models which enable true dynamic, context aware response. This allows them to handle complex queries, understand intent, and engage in far more fluid and intelligent conversation. Now, why are these AI powered chatbots so valuable? They offer significant benefit. Firstly, they provide 24/7 availability and instant support. Unlike human agents who needs breaks, chatbots can be online around the clock, offering immediate assistance which drastically improves user experience and response times. Secondly, they offer incredible scalability and efficiency. A single chatbot can handle thousands or even millions of concurrent conversations, something impossible for human teams. This leads to massive cost savings and allows businesses to serve a much larger audience without proportional increase in staffing. And finally, they enable personalization at the scale. While their automated AI powered chatbots can remember past interaction, understand user preference, and tailor their responses, providing a highly personalized experience to each individual user, but doing so for a vast number of people simultaneously. These capabilities are why AI powered chatbots are rapidly becoming an essential tool across various sectors. Moving on from general introduction, let's now delve into the brains behind the bots, which is the large language model or LLMs. These models are truly the technological backbone of today's most intelligent chatbots. Essentially, LLMs are advanced AI models trained on vast amount of text data. They are incredibly powerful, capable of understanding, generating, and even reasoning with human language. Think of them as having read and processed an immense portion of Internet's text, allowing them to grasp context, grammar, and even some world knowledge. At the fundamental level, LLMs work by identifying intricate patterns within the colossal datasets they're trained on. They learn the statistical relationships between the words, phrases, and concepts, recognizing how language is structured and used in real world conversations. Their core mechanism, which might sound simple but immense powerful, is to predict the most probable next word or sequence based on predicting the text. When you give an LLM prompt, it doesn't think like a human. Instead, it calculates the most statistical like continuation of the text, word by word. The result of this sophisticated pattern recognition and predictive ability is their capability to generate coherent, relevant, and human like text. This allows them to answer questions, write essays, summarize documents, translate languages, and most importantly, for all contexts, engage in incredibly fluid and natural conversation, making the chatbot feel genuinely intelligent. To truly understand how LLMs operate, there are two fundamental concepts we need to grasp: tokens and transformers. First, let's talk about tokens. Think of tokens as a basic unit of text that LLMs process. When you input text into LLM, it does not process it letter by letter or even always word by word. Instead, it breaks it down into these smaller, digestible pieces called tokens. These tokens can be full words, parts of a words, or even single characters depending on the specific tokenization strategy used by model. For example, the word unbelievable might be broken into unbelieve and able. Understanding tokens is important because they directly influence processing time and cost. The more tokens in your input or output, the more computational resources are required and often the higher cost when using commercial LLM APIs. Secondly, perhaps the most crucial architectural evolution are transformers. The transformer architecture is the dominant neural network architecture for LLMs today. Almost every state of the art large language model you hear about, whether it's GPT, BERT, or others, is built upon this architecture. What makes Transformer revolutionary is their ability to enable the understanding of long range dependency and context in text. Unlike older neural networks that struggle to remember information from the beginning of a long sentence or a document, transformers can efficiently process and relate all parts of their sequence regardless of their position. This is primarily achieved because the transformer powers the attention mechanism. Attention allows the model to weigh the importance of different models in input text when processing a particular word, effectively deciding which parts of the input to pay attention to. This mechanism is what gives LLMs their incredible contextual understanding and generation capabilities. These two concepts, which is tokens, are as a building blocks and transformers as the architectural blueprint, are essential to how modern LLMs function at their core. Now that we understand the core concept of LLMs, let's look at some of the most prominent examples you'll encounter in the industry today. These are the models that are empowering a vast array of AI applications, including advanced chatbots. First, we have OpenAI's GPT series. GPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, has really been a forefront of popularizing large language models. Models like GPT 3.5 and GPT 4 are widely recognized for their impressive abilities to generate human like text, engage in complex conversations, and perform a wide range of natural language tasks. They are very versatile and are used in many commercial applications. Next, we have Google's Gemini. Gemini represents Google's most advanced and capable family of AI models. What makes Gemini particularly interesting is its multimodal nature, meaning it's designed from the group up to understand the operate across different types of information, including text, code, audio, image, and video. This makes it incredibly powerful for tasks that combine various data formats. And finally, in emerging player, we have DeepSeek with its R1 and V3 models. DeepSeek is gaining recognition, especially for its contribution to open source LLM space and for models that offer strong performance, often optimized for specific tasks like coding or efficient development. They represent the growing diversity and innovation within the LLM ecosystem, beyond just the largest players. These examples illustrate the rapid advancement and the diverse range of powerful LLMs available, each with its own strength and application. So far, we have explored what LLMs are and their individual capabilities, but as a field evolves, a fascinating new approaches is emerging. Multi-LLM chatbots. This raises a key question. Why multiple LLMs? Why would we use more than one powerful model when a single one seems so capable? The answer lies in several strategies. Advancement. The first one is best of breed performance, which is no single LLM is perfect for every task. By using multiple LLMs, we can leverage the strength of different models for different parts of the conversation or different types of queries. For example, one LLM might excel in factual retrieval, while another is better at creative writing or summarization. Combining them allows us to achieve the best of breed performance for the overall chatbot. Next is redundancy and reliability. Relying on a single LLM, especially one provided by the external API, introduce a single point of failure. If the service goes down or experiences issues, your chatbot stops functioning. By having multiple LLM, you build in redundancy. If one model is unavailable or underperforming, the system can gracefully fail over to another, ensuring higher uptime and reliability for your chatbot service. Cost optimization. Different LLM come with different pricing structure and performance characteristics. For simpler or less critical tasks, you might use more cost-effective smaller LLM. For complex high-value queries, you might route to a powerful, potential, and more expensive LLM. This strategic routing allows for a significant cost optimization, ensuring you only pay for the computational power you truly need for each interaction. Specialized knowledge, while general purpose LLMs are impressive, some tasks require very specialized knowledge or fine tuning that a single LLM might not possess or might be expensive to achieve. You could have one LLM that highly specialized in legal advice, another in medical information, and third in general chit chat. While orchestrating these specialized LLMs, your chatbot can tap into deep domain expertise dynamically, providing high accurate and context specific response, making your chatbot far more capable across diverse topics. The ability to dynamically choose and combine the strength of various LLMs, which is used in various fields such as customer service and even content creation, opens up a powerful new possibilities for creating high sophisticated, pleasant, and economically efficient chatbot solution. Before we delve into further into specific technology, it's crucial to have a clear understanding of the core components that underpins all intelligent chatbots, which is natural language processing or NLP. Simply put, natural language processing or NLP as a field of artificial intelligence that enables computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language. It's the bridge between the complex, unstructured world of human communication and structured, logical world of computer processing. Within the context of chatbot or any AI agent, NLP is an engine that allows the AI to break down the user's input, understand the meaning behind it, and generate human like responses. When you type a question or speak command, it's NLP that processes words, deciphers into your intent, and helps formulate an appropriate reply. This capability is significantly enhanced by language models such as GPT-4, which are trained on diverse corpora of text. This massive training enables them to go beyond just recognizing words. They learn to recognize context, understand the tone, adhere to grammatical rules, and grasp the cinematics, the true meaning of sentence, and even the entire conversations. Without NLP, AI-powered chatbots as we know them simply wouldn't exist. Now let's pivot slightly from understanding AI models to user-facing side of our chatbots. For many modern web-based chatbots, React.js provides an excellent front-end foundation. This section is quick refresher on React.js essential the core concepts you will need to understand how the user interface of a chatbot will be built. We'll quickly go to the first five key concepts. The first one be JSX. This stands for JavaScript XML. It's a syntax extension for JavaScript that allows you to write HTML-like code directly within your JavaScript files. It might look a bit unusual at first, but it makes creating and describing user interface within React very intuitive and powerful. Second, we have components. The heart of React development lies in the components. Think of components as an independent, reusable piece of UI. This could be anything from a simple button or an input field to an entire chat window or a complex navigation bar. React encourages breaking down your UI into these smaller, manageable components, which makes your code modular and easier to maintain. Next, we have the state. State refers to the data that is managed within a component and can change over time. When a component state changes, React automatically re-renders that component to reflect the new data. For a chatbot, state would manage things like the current user input, the list of messages in conversations, or whether a loading indicator is shown. Next, we have props. Short for properties. Props are always passing the data from a parent component down to its child components. Unlike state, props are generally immutable within the child component. They're how you configure or customize a child component from its parents. For instance, passing the user's name or a specific message text into the message component. Next, we have React hooks. Finally, we touch up on React hooks. Introduction to React. Hooks are functional that let you hook into, React state and lifecycle features from function components. The most common ones you will see use state for managing component state and use effect for handling signed effects like data fetching or DOM manipulation. Hooks have significantly simplified how we write and manage logic in React application. By understanding these five core concepts, you will be well equipped to grasp the front end development aspects of building a chatbot user interface with React.js. While the technology behind the chatbot is fascinating, the user experience is paramount. A powerful AI is only effective if its interface is intuitive and user friendly. This brings us to UI UX principles for chatbots. We are focusing on a user centric design principles, ensuring a chatbot is designed with the end user always in mind. There are four key concepts to keep in your mind. Clarity. This prefers the most critical. Your chatbot should always provide a clear, prompt, and easy to understand response. Avoid jargon, ambiguity, or complex sentences. The user should never be left guessing what to do next or what chatbot is trying to communicate. Simply direct the language the best. Next, we have consistency. A good chatbot maintains predictive interactions and consistent visual style. This means similar types of questions should elicit similar types of responses, and the look and the feel of the chat interface should remain uniform. Consistency builds trust and reduces cognitive load for the user, making the experience feel reliable and professional. Next, we have feedback. Users need to know what's happening. Providing clear feedback is essential. This includes elements like typing indicators so users know the bot is processing status messages and robust error handling. If the bot can't understand or fulfill a request, it needs to clearly communicate that and ideally offer alternatives rather than just silently failing or repeating itself. Finally, this is personality, and this is where chatbots can really shine. Consider the personality. Your chatbot's tone should always align with your brand and its purpose. Is it formal customer service bot, a friendly assistant, or a playful companion? Defining and consistently applying a personality makes the chatbot more engaging and memorable, fostering a better communication with the user. By adhering to these user-centric UI UX principle, we can ensure that our technically advanced chatbots are also delightful and effective to interact with. Building on our UI UX principles, let's now identify the key UI elements that typically form the interface of a modern chatbot applications. Understanding these components is crucial for planning and developing a user-friendly experience. Chat window. This is the most visible and central part of a chatbot interface. It's scrollable area where all the messages from the user and the chatbot are displayed. It should be easy to read with a clear message, bubbles, or even formats that differentiate between who the speaking are. Next, we have input section. This is directly below or sometimes alongside the chat window is the input section. This is typically a text area where the user types their message, often accompanied by a send button and sometimes supporting keyboard shortcuts for a quick interaction like pressing enter to send. This needs to be intuitive and accessible. Next is sidebar. For more sophisticated chatbots, especially those handling multiple conversation or settings, a sidebar is common. This area provides a space for additional features such as starting a new chat session, to clear the current conversation, or even accessing a session history to review the past interaction. It helps organize the user experience beyond just the current chat. Next, we have model selector. Given our discussion on multi-LLM chatbots, a powerful and increasingly common UI element is the model selector. This feature allows users to switch between different LLMs that our chatbot might be leveraging. For example, the user could choose to interact with a creative LLM for brainstorming or a precise factual LLM for data retrieval directly from the interface. This gives user more control and access to the specialized capabilities of your multi-LLM setup. These are the fundamental building blocks you'll typically see in a well-designed chatbot front end, each playing a vital role in enabling seamless user interaction. Now that we have covered front end and how users interact with the chatbot, let's move to a critical backend aspect. LLM integration, specifically choosing the right API when you're building a chatbot that leverages large language models. You'll often integrate with them via the application programming interface or API. Deciding which LLM API to use, especially in a multi LLM setup, requires careful consideration of several factors, which include capabilities. The first and the most important factor of LLM itself. Does it excel at a specific task your chatbot needs? For example, if it is strong in creative writing, factual retrieval, coding assistance, or multimodal understanding, you need to ensure the model's performance aligns with your chatbot's core process. Latency refers to the time it takes for an API to respond to a request. For an interactive chatbot, low latency is crucial for a smooth experience. User expects near instantaneous replies, so you need an API that provides response quickly, especially during the peak usage. Next, we have cost. LLM API usage typically involves cost, often based on number of tokens processed. Different providers and different models within the same provider can have vastly different pricing. Understanding the cost model and estimating your expected usage is vital for budgeting and ensuring economical viability, especially at scale. APIs often impose rate limits, which dictate how many requests you can send within a certain time frame. Exceeding these limits can lead to temporary blocks or errors, disrupting your chatbot services. You need to factor in these limits and plan your architecture to handle them, potentially by querying requests or distributing them across multiple models. Streaming support. One of the key features being streaming support for modern chatbots. Instead of waiting for an entire response to be generated and sent back at once, streaming allows the chatbot to receive and display the LLM's output word by word or token by token as it's generated. This significantly improves the perceived responses and interactivity for the user, making the conversation feel much more natural and less like waiting for a computer to finish thinking. By carefully evaluating these factors, you can make informed decisions about which LLM APIs is the best suit for your chatbot needs and ensure a robust and efficient backend. Now that we have discussed why we choose certain LLM APIs, let's look at the particular aspect of how we interact with them. This slide outlines a typical LLM API call structure, which consists of three main parts: the endpoint, header, and the request body. First, every API calls begins with a endpoint. This is specific URL for LLM service you want to call. Think of it as a unique address where you send your request. For example, it might be api.openai.com completions or similar URL for a Gemini model. Next, we have headers of API request. Headers provide meta information about the request itself. The most critical header is authentication, which contains your API key. This key is how LLM provider authenticates your request and ensures you have permissions to use their services. It's vital to keep this key secure. Another common header is content type, which specifies the data format you're sending in the body, typically applications JSON for LLM APIs. Finally, and perhaps the most importantly, is the body of your API request. This is where you send the actual data for the LLM to process. The core of the body is the prompt. This is the user's current message or question that you want the LLM to respond to. Crucially for chatbots, the body also includes conversational history. This contains previously turns of the conversation, both user inputs and bots responses. Providing this context is absolutely essential as LLM are stateless by nature. They don't remember the past interaction unless you explicitly send the history with each new request. This is how the chatbot maintains a coherent conversation. And in the context of multi LLM chatbots, the body might also contain a model ID which specifies which LLM model to use for that particular query, allowing you to dynamically route requests based on their type of complexity. Understanding the structure is fundamental to sending effective requests to LLM APIs and building a functional chatbot backend. Once you have sent your request to the LLM API, the next crucial step is handling LLM response and errors. This involves both correctly processing the data you receive back and gracefully managing any issues that might arise. Let's break this down into two main areas: processing responses and robust error handling. One on the left is under processing response. Parse data. The LLM response typically comes back in a structured format, most commonly JSON. Your first task is to parse this data and extract the generated text from the API's JSON response. You will need to know the specific structure of JSON payload for LLM you're using. Next, we have stream processing. As we discussed with streaming support for API that offer it, you will engage in stream processing. This means you don't wait for an entire response. Instead, you will concentrate or assemble incoming chunks of text as they arrive. This allows for the dynamic real-time display of the chatbot's message, which significantly enhances user experience. Next, we have Markdown rendering. Often, LLMs generate text that includes formatting like bolding, italics, lists, or even code blocks using Markdown syntax. To display this correctly in your front end, you will need to use libraries to render Markdown into proper HTML or UI elements. This ensures the chatbot's output is just not text but also visually appealing and easy to read. Next, we have robust error handling. You must implement try or catch blocks for the network issues or API errors. Things can go wrong. The network might drop and the API might be temporarily down, or you might hit a rate limit. Your code needs to anticipate these issues and react gracefully instead of crashing. Crucially, always provide user-friendly error message. If an error occurs, don't just show a cryptic technical message. Inform the user clearly that something went wrong and ideally suggest what they can do next. Finally, always log errors for debugging. When an error happens, capture relevant information about it. This logging is invaluable for you as a developer to understand what went wrong, diagnose the problem, and fix it efficiently. By meticulously handling both successful responses and potential error, you would ensure your chatbot is reliable, user-friendly, and maintainable. This section is where we lay groundwork for building our chatbot. We will get our development environment ready, set up with necessary project structure, and install the tools and libraries we'll be using for both React.js frontend and backend integration with our LLMs. This is the crucial first step before we write any actual code for our chatbot application, ensuring everyone has consistent and functional setup to begin development. So the setup can be done via your laptop or even any cloud platforms like Google Colab. So we'll set up the page for offline, which is using VS Code. So before that, we need to download Node.js and also have Visual Studio Code. So this is the website for downloading. You can install any kind of version that is also applicable for Mac, Linux systems, and using what Docker file or any other preferred, and you just can download it and install it. Next, usually the project will start by opening up a Visual Studio Code. The process typically starts by the terminal or command line interface where we instruct the system to create a new project. By executing a command like npm create white at latest, we invoke white, a next generation front-end tooling, to scaffold our application. This step involves a brief interaction session where we define key project parameters, assigning a meaningful name such as My Chatbot app to identify our creation, and then selecting our preferred framework like React to dictate the architectural blueprint of our application. Finally, we specify the core programming languages, opting for JavaScript, which allows our edits functionality. Once these choices are made, White rapidly constructs the foundation directory structure and populates it with essential files, leaving us with clear prompt for the next steps. With the basic project structure in place, the immediate next phase involves navigating into a newly created project directory within the terminal, typically by using the command cd followed by the project name. Following this, the crucial npm install command is executed. This command acts as a project manager, reading the project dependencies list and automatically downloading and configuring all the necessary external libraries and tools into dictated node modules folder, effectively equipping our project with its full set of required components. After the installation is completed, the exciting moment arrives to launch our application for the first time. By running npm run dev, we activate White's development server, which compiles our code and serves it locally. The terminal then conveniently provides a local URL, which as here it is localhost 5173, which when pressed or into a web browser instantly displays our nascent application, allowing us to see our project come to lift right from our machine. And finally, equally important setup is the setup journey is to open our freshly minted projects in a powerful code editor. Visual Studio Code begin being a popular choice upon launching VS Code. We use its open folder functionalities to navigate to the select folder, our project's root directory. Once opened, VS Code Intuitive Explorer Panel on the left side immediately presents a comprehensive tree view of our project files and folders, reflecting the organized structure laid down by White. This seamless integration provides us with a dedicated feature-rich environment equipped with syntax, highlighting intelligent code completion and debugging tools, making the transition from mere setup to immersive world of active development where we can be craftively and actual logic and user interface of our application. Now that we have built the core of our chatbot focusing on the project setup, we'll move on to creating the chat UI. Simultaneously, we'll integrate with AI APIs. This is a crucial step to connect our UI to powerful external AI models. We'll practically apply our understanding of LLM to enable our chatbot to comprehend user input and generate intelligent responses. By the end, you'll have a fully functional, visually engaging AI-powered chatbot. Now, let's talk about how to create a chat UI, which is AI-powered chatbot using Google Colab. Firstly, we have to do a general setup. This initial section of the code handles the fundamental prerequisites of our AI integration program. It begins by ensuring all necessary Python libraries are available within the execution environment. The pip install OpenAI Google Generative AI request /q commands installs all the efficient client libraries for OpenAI and Google Gemini alongside the versatility request library used for general HTTP communications. Following that library instruction, the crucial aspect of secure API key management is addressed. API keys are sensitive credentials that are grant access to the paid services, and hard coding them directly into the script is a significant security risk. To mitigate this, the Google Colab user data module is employed to retrieve API keys from Google Colab Secure Secret Manager. Now, how do you upload the keys here? So you can click on the key option here and you can add the keys. So for a few of the OpenAI, it's a different link that you can use from. For Gemini AI, for DeepSeek, I'll be showing how to get the API keys. So for an OpenAI API key, this is a website for OpenAI platforms where there is a search button. You need to log into your respective accounts, then search for API keys. And here you can see your previously created keys. If you don't want this, you can create a new key, give it a name, suppose let's say chat UI, and then select a default project and create a secret key. So this is the API key. You can just copy it and paste it in the Google Colab. So here, as mentioned before, I'm adding the key to it. Then if you want to add another one, I'll show you how to add. This is the value, and then the name of this is chat UI. So after doing that, you can give the notebook access. Now, OpenAI is fine. Now, what about Google Gemini? So for that also we have a website, which is Google AI Studio. So here you can see directly we have API keys as a premium option. So you can create a key here. So you can give any kind of project name and it will generate an API key for that. So you can just copy and paste it similarly to the previous one. Similarly, even for a DeepSeek platform, here you can see API key as an option. You can generate a new API key. Name of the API key will be chat UI and it will generate a key for you to access it. You can add all these three keys to the Google Colab so that it will integrate with the program that we are executing. Now, after that, we are moving on to the second part, which is initializing AI clients. With the foundation setup complete, this section focuses on establishing the specific client objects and configuration required to communicate with each AI services. It imports the OpenAI class and the Google.generative AI model, which are primary interfaces for their respective APIs. An instance of OpenAI is created, which, thanks to the environment variable set up previously, automatically authenticates itself for ChatGPT integrations. For Google Gemini, the google.generative.configure function is used to set the global API key, followed by installation for a specific model, which is Gemini model is equal to genai.generative model Gemini/Pro, preparing it for the text-based queries. Lastly, for DeepSeek, instead of detecting the client object, the previous API endpoint, which is the URL DeepSeek API endpoint, and the model name, which is DeepSeek model name, are defined as string variables. These configuration and object instantiation create the active communication channels that are programmed and used to send requests to each of three AI models. In section 3, which is defining a unified AI response function, this section introduces the core intelligence of the program, the get AI response function. This function serves as a universal dispatcher, abstracting away the unique requirements for each AI APIs. It accepts the prompt, which is the user's query, the model name, example GPT 3.4 Turbo or Gemini Pro, or even in DeepSeek Chat, to specify the target AI and optional parameters for history, temperature, and max tokens. Inside the function, a conditional if-else structure intelligently routes the request. If the model name starts with GPT, it formats the message and calls the OpenAI client chat completion.create method. If it starts with Gemini, it converts into history to Gemini expected format and uses Gemini model.sendMessage. If it starts with DeepSeek, it connects the sender to a direct HTTP post request using the request library, complete with authentication headers and JSON payload. Crucially, each API interaction in the function is wrapped in a try-exit block, providing a robust error handling that catches the network issues or API-specific failures and returns a user-friendly error message instead of crashing the program. Final section of the code is demonstration and exercise, which gets put unified by get AI response. function into practical thought, a series of demonstration and exercises. It starts by showcasing simple, single turn questions directed at each of three AIs, illustrating a seamless integration. Following this, the code demonstrates multi turn conversation for both ChatGPT and Google AI. This involves maintaining a chat history list where both user prompts and AI responses' entire update history is passed with each subsequent call to get AI response. This enables the AI to remember previously conversational context, leading to more coherent and natural dialogues. The section also includes a demonstration of error handling by intentionally providing invalid model names, showing how function gracefully catches and reports error. Lastly, an exercise encourages users to experiment with the temperature and max tokens parameters, highlighting how these settings can influence the AI's creative output and responsive verbosity, therefore offering practical control over the AI's behavior. Do execute this now and try it with your own version of tempering it with the temperature and max tokens. In this part of the course, we will delve into the capabilities that pushes our chatbots beyond basic question and answer systems. We'll explore how to equip them with more sophisticated functionalities, enabling them to handle complex workflows, interact with external systems, manage long-term memory, and provide an even richer, more integrated user experience. This is where we unlock the true potential of AI-powered conversational agents. Building on the concept of using multiple LLMs, let's look at a key advanced feature that brings this to life, which is dynamic model switching. This capability allows your chatbot to intelligently choose or allow the users to choose which specific LLM to use for a given interaction or purpose. Here's the core logic behind it. First, you would typically store the active model in your application state, perhaps initialized to a default model like OpenAI or Gemini. This variable keeps tracks of which LLM is currently being utilized. Next, for users, control your UI selection offer a drop down or a set radio button updates this active model state. This allows the user to manually select their preferred LLM based on their needs, whether they want to create response, a factual one, or something optimized for cost. Finally, the user sends a message. User send message function routes that the request to a correct LLM API based on currently active model stored in the state. This is where the actual switching happens in the background. The benefits of implementing dynamic model switching are significant and directly tie back to why we simply use multiple LLMs. It enables best of breed performance, it allows for handling specialized tasks, there's potential for cost savings, and importantly, it provides redundancy. This dynamic capability makes your chatbot much more flexible, powerful, and robust. Following our discussion on dynamic model switching, let's now look at how this is implemented on the user's interface side, specifically focusing on the UI integration, the active model. This is how the user can interactively select or be aware of which LLM is being used. For implementation, we would typically use state variable within our React component. Something like construct active model is equal to use state OpenAI. This active model variable holds the identifier of the LLM currently in use initialized to a default. Then we need a UI element that allows the user to make a choice. This could be a drop-down menu, radio buttons, or dedicated buttons designed to visually choose the model. The example image on the right shows a common drop-down approach similar to what you might see in a popular chatbot interface. Crucially, event handling is needed. An on-change event listener on the UI element or an on-click for buttons updates the active model state when the user selects a different model from the drop-down. This function is called updating the state variable, which then signals to application to use a newly selected LLM for subsequently interactions. Next, we have to consider maintaining state across the models. The most important aspect here is that the conversational history needs to be consistent regardless of the LLM used for the next turn. Even if you switch from a GPT model to Gemini model mid-conversation, the new LLM needs to receive the entire preceding conversation context to maintain the coherence. Your application's logic is responsible for compiling this full history. However, LLM-specific contexts are managed internally by each API call. This means you don't need to worry about one LLM remembering another internal state. You just provide the full textual history and each LLM processes it in a new way for its response. This integration ensures that while the user has control over the active model, the conversation remains seamless and logical, leveraging the power of multiple LLMs effectively. We just have talked about how to manage active LLM and how conversation history is maintained. Now let's discuss a feature that dramatically improves the perceived responsiveness of user experience of the chatbot streaming message updates. At its core, streaming message updates refer to receiving and displaying AI response character by character or word by word instead of waiting for a full reply to be generated before it appears on the screen. Think of it like watching someone type in real time rather than waiting for a full paragraph to pop up all at once. There are three significant benefits to implement this. Smoother text appearance instead of sudden block of text appearing, streaming creating a smoother, more natural flow as the words appear incrementally. This makes the interaction feel more dynamic and less rigid, almost like a human is typing the response. Reduce perceived latency. Even if the LLM takes a few seconds to generate the full response, the user starts seeing content almost immediately. This significantly reduces the perceived latency, making the chatbot feel much faster and more responsive, which is crucial for maintaining user engagement. Next, we have engaging user experience. Ultimately, streaming contributes to much more engaging user experience. It keeps the user attention, reduces frustrations from the waiting, and making the conversation feel more immediate and interactive. It transforms the interaction from a request response model to continuous unfolding dialogue. Implementing streaming is a key technique for making your AI powered chatbot feel truly alive and responsive. Now that we have understood the benefits of streaming, let's look at a technical detail of implementing stream handling. A common, robust way to achieve this for one-way streaming from server to server your client application is through Server Sent Events or SSE. SSE is a standard that allows web clients to receive automatic updates from the server via an HTTP connection. Here's a breakdown of the implementation process. First is to initiate the API call with streaming enabled. Your first step is to make your API request to the LLM service, but crucially, you must initiate the API call with streaming enabled. This is usually a specific parameter or endpoint you hit, telling the LLM API that you can expect to receive the data in chunks rather than a single large response. Next, we have process incoming data chunks. Once the stream is open, your application will begin to receive incoming data chunks. These are typically small fragmented pieces of the LLM's response. Your code needs to be set up to listen for these events and capture each piece of data as it arrives. Third, we have append new text to message state. As each chunk of text comes in, you will then append this new text to your message state in your forefront. This is what creates the real-time, character by character or word by word display that users see. You are effectively building the message incrementally on the screen. Beyond the successful flow of vital to have an error handling on stream failure, you must implement robust try and catch blocks for network or stream Errors. Stream can be interrupted due to network issues, server problems, or timeouts. Your code needs to gracefully catch these expectations. If stream fails, you should display a partial message or a stream interrupted notice. Don't leave the user hanging with an incomplete response or a frozen screen. Inform them that the connection was lost and suggest them try again or that was a response that might be incomplete. This maintains a good user experience even when things go wrong. Implementing stream handling correctly ensures a high responsive and engaging chatbot interface. As we integrate with external LLMs, APIs is one of the absolute most critical consideration is handling API keys securely. Your API keys are essential in credential that allows your application to incur costs and access powerful services. Exposing them can lead to unauthorized usage and significant financial liabilities. The core warning here is directly embedding API keys in client-side code exposes them to anyone who inspects your source code. A savvy user can easily find these keys in their browser's developer tools, copy them, and potentially use them under your account. This major security vulnerability. So, what is the best practice? The industry standard is to use a backend proxy. This means you will make all LLM API call from a secure backend server, not directly from your frontend. Your front end sends the request to your backend, and your backend then securely forwards those requests to the LLM API using your hidden API key. The response is then sent back from your backend to the front end. This way, your API key will never leave your secure server. Within the backend server, you should store keys as environment variables, not hard coded directly into the source code. This practice often sees a configuration over the code, keeps sensitive information out of your version control system, and makes it easier to manage different keys for a different environment. Now, sometimes for a quick demos or very simple non-productive example, you might encounter a client-side demo approach. These files allow you to define environment variables that your front-end build process can inject. However, this is crucial warning, and these are still exposed in the browser source code for production builds. While it makes development easier, building the process and values from these environment variables are embedded directly into your JavaScript bundles. So, for anything beyond a simple demo where security is not a concern, this approach is not suitable for API keys. Always prioritize the backend proxy method for production application to keep your API keys truly secure. Following our discussion on critical importance of handling API keys securely, let's look at a common way developers manage these and other configuration settings, particularly in the front-end context during the deployment, managing the environment variable. While the backend proxy is the production best practice for local development and demos, environment variables offer a convenient way to keep sensitive information out of your main code base. Here's how it generally works for a client-side setup using frameworks like Vite or Create React App. The first step is to create the file name .env directly into the root directory of your project. This special file is where you will store your environment variables. Second, we have Vite OpenAI. API key is equal to your key here. Inside this .nvi file, you will add your variables following a specific prefix convention. For Vite, for example, environment variables accessible in the client-side code must start with Vite. So you would write something like Vite OpenAI key is equal to your secret API key here. Remember, there is no quotes around the value. Third, we have access encode, which is import.meta.env Vite OpenAI API key. In your JavaScript or TypeScript code, you access these variables through a specific object like import.meta.env Vite OpenAI for Vite or process.env React OpenAI API key for creating React app. This mechanism injects the values during the build process. Now, two crucial considerations for managing these variables are git ignore. It is absolute essential to always add .env to your git ignore file. This prevents you from accidentally committing your sensitive API key and other private configuration data to public repositories like GitHub. If you forget this step, your key will be exposed to the world. For deploying your application to the cloud platforms like Vercel, Netlify, or specific clouds like AWS, Azure, or even Google Cloud will have dedicated settings to manage environment variables securely. So when .env files are great for local development, always remember the security implication, the proper deployment strategies for production environments. Continuing our discussion on LLM integration, two practical and critical considerations for any production-ready chatbot are pricing models and rate limits. Understanding these can significantly impact your operational cost and reliability of your service. So let's break down pricing models. The way you are charged for an LLM API usage varies, but two most common models are per token and per call request. For per token, this is the most prevalent model where you pay based on the number of tokens sent to your API and the number of tokens received back. Different model and different capabilities will have different token costs. And per call request, some APIs might charge per API call regardless of the token count or have a combination of both. It's crucial to review the specific provider's documentation. Next, estimating token usage. Since tokens are the primary cost driver, estimating token usage becomes vital for budgeting. This involves understanding how your average conversation length translates into token for both input and output. Tokens and libraries are available to help you count tokens before sending them to the API. Next, we have recurring prompt cost with trimming. Given the token-based pricing, a key optimization technique is reducing prompt cost with trimming. As conversation grow, the cumulative token count of the conversational history sent with each new request can become very large and expensive. Trimming involves intelligent strategies to shorten the history sent to the LLM while retaining enough context. This might mean keeping only the last few turns or summarizing older parts of the conversation. Next, we have rate limits. Finally, rate limits are restrictions imposed by API providers on how many requests you can send within a specific time frame. These limits are placed to ensure fair usage and prevent abuse. If you can exceed them, your request will be temporarily blocked, leading to errors and service interruption for your users. You must design your chatbot's backend to respect these limits, potential by implementing retry logic with exponential backup or by querying requests during high traffic to avoid hitting the ceiling. By actively managing your pricing models, optimizing token usage, and respecting rate limits, you can ensure your chatbot operates efficiently and cost effectively at this scale. So that was it for this course. Congratulations on completing this course.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.